What's up, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be talking about my first ever ZT knife. This is the Zero Tolerance 0462. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. And like I said at the intro, today we're going to be talking about my first ever ZT knife. I've just been recently started to collect knives. I've been into knives all my life, even as a young kid. Always had some, cheaper, but always had knives on me. Now I've gotten into, the better quality knives, and you can't have a knife collection and talk about quality knives without talking about ZT. I wanted something from ZT that had a couple of different features, mainly carbon fiber and their titanium frame locks, which they have a lot of variants of. And this one was the one I picked. I've never had a sinkovage design before, and I think this blade is absolutely beautiful. It is a beast, though. It's pretty big, but you can see that long Persian style blade. It is a flipper, and it has wonderful action. This knife, I was flipping it like crazy. I've had this knife for about 2 weeks now, and carried around. And of course, it's big, relatively lightweight. We'll get into all the specs here in a minute. But look at this beautiful black and red, kind of maroonish carbon fiber. One of the things that I like about this knife is its premium materials with its titanium carbon fiber, and they just did a great job on this carbon fiber. You can see the milling there, basically where it's chamfered all the way around. It has a really cool looking pivot, but on the other side it is a Torx, so disassembly is pretty good. The flipper tab is just this little bitty thing sticking out here. It doesn't angle down like like my other flipper that I have, which I'll show in a minute, but it's in the perfect spot to flip. It hardly ever fails. The only time it does is if my fingers, like on the giant mouse, which we've already reviewed, if I have my fingers on the lock bar, then it doesn't want to deploy, so I got to make sure I got my fingers in the right spot, and it just flies out of there. But speaking about the giant mouse, this is the other titanium frame lock flipper that I do have. I've already done a review on this. If you want to check this out, check my video. But you can see the flipper tab on this one is angled down, and I actually like that a lot. It really makes for a great flipper action, and you don't fail as much flipping this one as I do with this. Not to say it's a bad flipper tab, it just doesn't have that angle, which I learned that I really like on the giant mouse. These two knives are very similar as far as premium construction. This one is in 20 CV steel, CPM 20 CV, and this was an M390. And basically those two steels are the same recipe. If you've not checked out Blade HQ, definitely check them out for a couple of reasons. First, they have really good prices, really great guys. They have a YouTube channel, so definitely check out that. Very entertaining stuff. But one of the things that they also have is the knife steel guide, and I have printed a couple of these things out to show you what a great tool that they have here. This is the CPM 20 CV, which is what the Zero Tolerance 0462 is in, and it gives you a ease of sharpening, edge retention, corrosion resistance, and toughness, and it kind of shows you where that particular steel is in the scheme of all those criteria. And as you can see, the edge retention is very high, corrosion resistance is fairly good. Ease of sharpening is not so great. I haven't tried to sharpen this particular knife or CPM 20 CV, and then the toughness is also pretty good. So kind of an all-around great steel. But you can see right here that CTS 204P is basically, and M390 is basically the same. The recipes are the same, and so all the characteristics are the same for the CPM 20 CV and the M390, and also the CTS 204P. So I highly recommend going and checking the website out on Blade HQ if you're curious about these things. I've learned a lot, and it's just a great resource. Let's go ahead and do some size comparison. Well, of course, there it is against the the Giant Mouse Sonoma, and we have the Spyderco PM2. You can see that Spyderco PM2, a lot of people would say is a relatively large knife, and it is dwarfed by the ZT. You can see it's a very big knife. Here it is against the Shaman, which is also a pretty big knife. It dwarfs the Shaman. And then one of the ones from Benchmade. This is around the same size as a Griptilian. This is the Super Freak. So as you can see, it's a relatively large knife. So some people are not going to carry it just for that reason. Some other people might not carry it because it's kind of an intimidating looking blade, but that's why I bought it. I wanted something a little bit different. I've never had a ZT, and I've never had a Sinkovich design, and so I saw this, man, and I was like, oh, gotta have it. ZT just recently had a price drop and a lot of sales going on all their knives. I'm not sure if it's still on or not, but if it is, and you've been wanting a ZT knife, now's the time to buy. I got this one as a really good deal, and let's go ahead talking about these premium materials and how lightweight it is for a big knife, which we'll go ahead and, it's about 8.9 inches overall. It is the blade length is 3.7 inches. Of course, that really depends on where you've got more cutting edge than you do blade length whenever they use, this is basically how they do it, is from the edge of the scale to the edge of the tip. But you can see that the cutting edge goes all the way back here past that. Excuse me. The cutting edge is, 4 inches, blade length 3.70. You've got a blade width of about 1 inch and about 160 thousandths thick chunk of CPM 20CV. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on. Let's see how lightweight this thing is for being such a big knife. 3.75 ounces. I mean, for being, nearly a 9-inch knife, I think that's great. Of course, a lot of it has to do, like I said, with the premium materials that you get with this thing. And I just really love the carbon fiber. They do make the ZT-0460, which is a smaller brother to this knife. Doesn't have the red G10. It has more like a brown copper color. And I really like this red a whole lot better than that one. And of course, I do like the bigger size. It's just, I like big knives. You guys know that. This particular knife came really well centered. The action is just, like I said, very, very good. I did play with this thing quite a bit, and eventually I did have to tighten up the pivot and the lock bar here, because I started to get a little bit of drag, and I didn't know why. And so I'm not sure why that happened, but I tightened everything back up and it started to function great. You can see it's not full drop shutty, but it does have good action. It's not like the sheepdog where it just falls shut on itself. But I also can fail at this. See that? I can also fail flipping this guy out if you're not careful. So it's it's one of those things where the detent on the ZT is great, because as long as you have your fingers in the right spot, this thing's always going to fire out. One other thing it's kind of annoying on this, and maybe a lot of people don't have this issue, but the frame lock here, to be able to get my big fat thumb in there and disengage it, it's not tough. It's it's still very doable, but it's just not as comfortable as the frame lock on the sheepdog. I can get that in there and close it really simple. And same thing with this one. I just, for some reason, can get my thumb in there and close that frame lock a lot easier than I can on this ZT. So not a huge deal, but it's something to be aware of. It just doesn't have a whole lot of room for guys with big fat fingers to get in there. So, but anyway, usually this knife runs around $260. Like I said, I didn't pay that for this knife. But whenever the sale was going on, I did see that they were down to like $210. So awesome sale. If it's still going on, guys, and you want a ZT, jump on that, because it's a really, really good deal. But this knife, I've carried it around since I've had it for the last couple weeks. I really, really love CPM 20CV and the M390. because the giant mouse was done great. I am assuming this is going to, I haven't done a little hard cutting with this. But I did sharpen the M390 blade on the giant mouse, and I found it to be not that bad. I found it to be pretty easily to sharpen, even though that the edge retention, or I'm sorry, the ease of sharpening on this is not that great according to this chart. I didn't have much of an issue. The way I sharpen my knives is on a KME sharpening system, so you can take that as it is. I'm not sure about any other sharpening systems or doing hand stones. I can't do hand stones. I'm not that talented. Matter of fact, I'm really not that great at sharpening on my KME system, but the KME system makes it easy, makes it dummy proof. But guys, that's about it for this knife. I really appreciate you guys coming by and watching my videos. If you do like this video, give it a like. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Helps me out. I've got a lot more knives to come. I'm actually going to probably doing a update collection video here in the near future because I bought so many knives and traded and sold some stuff. So I've got a lot more knives than my original knife collection video. Also, I have a EDC subscription box that I have subscribed to, so we will be opening that up together. Hopefully I'll be getting that this next week or week after as kind of a surprise, and we'll do that, and I'm so excited. This particular company, oh crap, now I don't remember the daggum company. Going Gear, sheesh, there we go, goinggear.com. I was first introduced to Going Gear by another YouTuber named Such, or Sensible Prepper. If you have a chance, check out his videos. He has so many videos on knives, guns, prepping videos, gear. He's just awesome to watch. A lot of great content. I want to do a shout out for another YouTuber that has really inspired me to start this channel. I am nowhere near as good as he is. Hopefully my videos will get better and better. But Metal Complex on YouTube. If you like knife reviews, if you're looking at the knives, this guy has such great content. He's got tons of videos. Matter of fact, now he's doing a video every day. He has weekly videos. He has live videos every Saturday. Definitely go check him out. Also, Birdshot IV and Slicy Dicy, some of my favorite YouTubers for this particular kind of content. Go check them out and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. What's up, guys? Kyle.